Welcome to the RJI Futures Lab, where we help you make your organization more innovative. I'm Ruben Stern. This week, experimenting with vertical video. Smartphones and video are both central to news delivery, but the two things don't necessarily fit together. People tend to hold their phones vertically, but videos are almost always produced in a horizontal format. A few news organizations have begun to address this, and as you can see this week, we decided to experiment with our own show as well. The Futures Lab's Katie Mersman explains what goes into taking video in this new direction.
The shift to mobile news is one of the driving forces pushing video vertical. Research suggests that even though it's easy to turn a phone sideways to watch a video, most people don't actually do that.
Generally, what I found in my research and observing a lot of people and how they use their phones is that they tend to watch videos on their phones vertically. So the black bars are on the top and the bottom. And a lot of people have their portrait lock on and just don't ever turn their phone sideways. It doesn't work with anything else you're doing. It's kind of irritating when your phone keeps changing orientation and you have to keep shifting it. So to be kind to our audience, to be kind to people who are consuming our content through phones, which is an increasing audience, we have to make really beautiful, high-quality vertical video.
A big part of the push for vertical video came from apps outside of traditional news.
Snapchat is really pushing its content providers on the Discover channels to provide vertical content. They find much higher engagement with their content. People watch for much longer periods of time when it's vertical.
But vertical video doesn't work for every story. To justify the move, stories need certain characteristics.
I think stories that are character-based, where you can focus on one person talking with a lot of close-ups, work very well. I don't think stories that require wide shots to show a big scene of a protest or anything necessarily work.
Portrait photography exists because we fit better in a portrait frame. And if you want to see the texture in somebody's face and the texture in somebody's hair and the pattern on somebody's clothing, you're going to take a photo, a portrait photograph. And so the same applies to videography, where if you're shooting a landscape, yes, turn your phone sideways, get that landscape. But we're talking about a generation of users this is personal video.
When it comes to shooting video to produce vertically, there are a few options. For higher resolution footage, a traditional camera can be used. Set at a wider angle, you can crop down easily to vertical. For quicker on-the-go or citizen coverage, most mobile phones automatically shoot in a vertical format.
Most video editing software defaults to a horizontal aspect ratio, so editors must create custom templates in programs like Final Cut and Adobe Premiere. That doesn't solve the problem of the footage that gets cropped out, however.
Footage that is, let's say, more horizontal, that 16 by 9, where you have protest footage, for example, and stuff is happening on the right and the left, we could actually pan, so actually start you out watching this portion of the footage and then do keyframes and move it so you actually get to see it all.
Another alternative is to create a second, blurred layer behind the video footage to cover any black space left unfilled. Professionally shot 16 by 9 videos can't always be made vertical. For AJ Plus, the solution was to produce square videos, a compromise that is both mobile-friendly and easier to create with horizontal footage.
And I think we see that more and more of the competition is moving into utilizing square or vertical video. It's early to tell how it's performing, but we definitely know that the consumers are consuming video in that format. Square is a bit easier for us to work with. If you want to try to turn a regular 16 by 9 picture into vertical, you have to zoom in a bit more. You're going to lose a little bit more of the resolution. I think square is a lot easier to work with in terms of just chopping off the sides. As we move forward and experiment more with vertical, I think we'll probably have to do more of the shooting on our own.
None of this solves the problem of delivering a non-horizontal video online. Some standard video hosts don't always work well with vertical video. YouTube, for instance, forces them into a horizontal shape with black space on the left and right. And hacking the embed code to get video to display vertically on your own website is complicated. There is a new platform designed to host and edit phone videos called Vervet.
Let us give you the editing tools to take those short clips and turn it into something like meaningful, into a story, and then just get it off your phone. And gives you the opportunity to share it in a public way with the world, similar to how you can share things on YouTube.
For news outlets serious about creating content for both mobile and desktop, sometimes the best solution is creating two versions of a video, one horizontal and one vertical. But that takes a lot of effort.
The New York Times did something recently that was really interesting, and it was like a making of a song with Justin Bieber. And it was my former colleagues who did it. But if you watched it on your phone, it was vertical. And if you watched it on a laptop, it was horizontal. So it could sense where you were coming from or how you were watching it, and it would adjust the video. Actually, they uploaded 2 different versions of the video.
Square videos like AJ Plus's appear larger and are more easily viewed on mobile without looking out of place on a desktop. For the Futures Lab, this is Katie Mersman.
Along with this Vertical Futures Lab video, you'll find a detailed explanation of how we created it. You'll also find links to the examples mentioned in our report and to other related materials. And that's it for this report from the RJI Futures Lab. I'm Ruben Stern. We'll see you in the future.